Welcome to your 90-day journey to craft your true self blueprint. It's time to resolve and evolve. So the old systems of our world are outdated and collapsing all around us. Like we have storms and floods and fires, chaos all around, not to mention the media, right? So what's ahead for you? Do you have a future-proof plan in place for your life? Or are you just going through the motions and seeing what happens? Well, several years ago, when I had 6 kids under the age of 7, I was going through the motions. We had the good life going, a brand new house we just built, and we were eating organic foods and living the life, We got rid of all of our chemicals and we really were just enjoying life. And then there was a day when I looked in the mirror and I saw a lady in a black hoodie, and I'm like, who's the lady in the mirror? Who had I become? I just didn't realize that I was just going through the motions too, and like everyone else. And I knew that at that point that there was something more to life out there. I wasn't just a mom. We were here for a purpose. And so I was just looking around and no one else was asking any questions. They're just going through the motions. And well, I had some questions. And that's when I really began to search for different answers for purpose. And that's when I ran into breath work, yoga, essential oils, things like that. And it was in that season that I realized that we're designed to heal ourselves. And there's a lot of systems out there that were conditioning us to live a certain way. And that was not part of fulfilling our soul's purpose. So it was then that I really started to wake up and make changes for us and for myself, my husband, my family, and those around me. And my new beliefs were really put to the test when our youngest son almost died of RSV and bacterial pneumonia. He literally turned gray and cold overnight. And so we spent a week, ICU at the hospital. And at the end of the week, when the doctors released him, they gave him 4 prescriptions and said they'd see us back in 6 to 8 weeks when he relapsed, like that was his new future. Well, I had this feeling inside that I'd never had before, and I chose to listen to it. So we did not participate. We didn't give him the prescriptions, and we didn't go along that route that they had planned for him. And so he did relapse 6 weeks later, and I nurtured him back to health at home with the tools I had been learning. And it was from that point forward, I just took radical responsibility for our health and well-being. And we haven't been to the doctors since 2006, except for one case of stitches. And then the kids have to go for physicals for sports and camp and things like that. But we're not dependent on the system at all. We just live a happy and healthy lifestyle, and the kids can be their true selves. It's absolutely fabulous. So I'm Linda Kilpela, fast forward about 15 years, and I have about 20,000 client hours in my healing and coaching practice. So I've invested my life into finding the answers. So I'm licensed and certified in many different healing modalities, and I've trained in different traditions from around the world. And the truth is that we have that truth within us. We have that light within us, and we are designed to heal ourselves. So I love to share this with people from all walks of life, because I believe we're in this together. So are you ready to create a future-proof plan for your life? I would be honored to guide you as you create the changes needed. So I'll offer tools, insight, and wisdom to support you along the way. So bridge that gap. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. I've worked with people with all kinds of issues in their tissues. And so you can find your true freedom and release your outdated thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and literally be empowered to create an inspired life unique to you. So the truth is within. So, we've been conditioned to believe that we need to find our solutions outside of ourselves. Maybe take that pill, go see that doctor, this counselor, and so on, just outsourcing all of our responsibility, even our education, to systems that don't truly support who we are. So we know that our healing comes from within, and our goal, honestly, is just to empower people to take responsibility for their health and well-being. It's such a better lifestyle for everyone. So if you want to find the secrets of the universe, you need to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That's what Nikola Tesla said, and he is spot on. We are energy, frequency, and vibration, every part of our being. So it's amazing once you learn these secrets, you can actually heal yourself. So in every culture, in every medical tradition before ours, healing was accomplished by moving energy. It's interesting that in our culture, the medical community is trying to control our biology. And our biography creates our biology. So our bodies are around 70% water. So the molecules change based on our thoughts, words, and actions. So we're creating our own reality. So if you want to live a life that is full of gratitude and peace, you need to live with frequencies above 200 and build strength into your body. Like when you look at that gratitude molecule, that's what's happening in your body. Or you can take the lower road and live under frequencies below 200 that break your body down and create issues in your tissues if you'd prefer that route. So you do have free will. But if you look at that anger molecule, it's pretty crazy how you realize what is happening within your body when you live at those lower frequencies. So it really is a lot about frequency. So the frequencies of sacred music, it's so interesting to see that the similarities between them and the Himalayan singing bowls. And that's what we utilize through all of our courses to help people to integrate and accelerate that healing path. So the pure sonic sounds of the singing bowls are heard not just by the ear, but by every cell in the body. So the emotional and spiritual body is healed first, which then reflects in the physical body. It's just absolutely fascinating. Out of every tool I've ever learned, this far surpasses anything that I've learned or taught, because sound creates reality.
We'd like to share with you a testimonial from one of our past students, Caleb Hall. Here is his testimony. The process was insightful, stimulating, challenging at points, but most of all, revealing. It moved me to challenge my perspectives and be willing to be open to the idea of changing. Changing beliefs, relationships, patterns of behavior, etc., I was reminded that change is the only constant, and to live a fruitful life, we must welcome change. And as for Linda, I learned during that process that she's nothing less than a master facilitator, using tools she's developed to guide bravely and seemingly effortlessly. She was more willing to provide space and support for challenging times and offer insights when appropriate. She's very quick to recognize and identify possible challenges and strengths in people to ultimately help guide them to be their more authentic and embracing their highest selves. A true guide to higher consciousness. The work with the singing bowls and with breath feels deep and permanent still today. So, do you know which way to go? Times are changing quickly, and we need to pivot and adapt. We have Mr. Google, we have fact checkers, they're everywhere. But the fact of the matter is, do you know which way to go? It's time to gain clarity and focus on your inner truth and decide which way you want to go. Do you know in your heart that you have a greater purpose? Are you ready to take a stand and reclaim your life? Well, it wasn't that long ago that I needed to pivot, and I needed to pivot really hard. My name is Tracy Lang Heinrich, and here's my story. Basically, at one point in time, I thought this was it. That picture on the left with the beard, that's me. I thought that that was all that was mattered at that time in my life. I was doing all the things. I had a corporate job. I was running a multi-million-dollar project, running it globally. But what that meant was is I was on the phone at all hours of the day and all hours of the night. So I was working 24/7. And on top of that, I had a son who was in the height of his sports. And so I was very active. I volunteered for everything that I possibly could. And I tried to create every special event around every special date that you could for my family, his friends, basically everybody. So where did that leave me? Everyone else was having fun and I was burning out. So yeah, I needed to pivot. It was the fall of 2015. I was sitting next to my grandmother holding her hand in hospice, and she passed away in her sleep. It was a beautiful moment, but probably one of the hardest moments for me because she was my rock. I went to work only to find out a couple days later that I was going to be released from that big corporate job that got me everything that I just talked about. Took a deep breath, went home. I happened to have a doctor's appointment for my standard everyday physical, and guess what? I got the diagnosis. Yep, the big C word, cancer. I had it. So, yep, I had to pivot hard. And so, what did I do? I looked at my life, I looked at my wellness block, and I had been dabbling. I had already implemented a few things. I had, for the most part, a chemical free environment, with the exception of that, Dos Equis beer that was in the refrigerator. But it was very clear to me that I needed to pivot and I needed to make a change. So I decided I needed to take some time and fill my sacred toolkit. And that's where Linda comes in. I met her at an event. I believe we were learning about the ancient oils of the Bible. And the next thing I know, I went to another event and another event and another event. And it got me through those 6 months. It allowed me to manifest a successful surgery. It allowed me to manifest a very quick recovery. And it allowed me to manifest my next corporate job, which, by the way, I got downsized from as well. So life is about change and it's about pivoting. But if you have those tools, you can do just that. And as my true self, I can get through whatever the future holds for me. So you're invited too. I took the blueprint journey, and here I am now inviting you to take the blueprint journey. It's a 90-day journey to craft your own true self blueprint. And we are so excited to invite you to come along. Are you ready to take a stand and reclaim your life? If this journey is for you, it will be on your heart to do so. If you think you have a greater purpose or you need to pivot hard, this journey is for you. It's time. We are committed to your success. We will hold sacred space for you each and every week. And what does that look like? Well, that in the old way, it means our door is always open. In the new way, it means Linda and I are literally thinking about you day in and day out, and we are sending you positive, growing, transformational energy. The great news is it's a like-minded community. So others like you will be on a similar journey as well. Can you imagine being seen? Can you imagine being heard? Can you imagine being understood in that like-minded community? And imagine the relief that you're going to have when your spirit is set free. We know that sound absolutely helps you to transform. And each and every week during this course, you will receive a sacred sound bath. It's basically nutrition for your nervous system. It will allow you to calm your mind and release those old patterns and help you to integrate and get yourself to your next level. So what does that look like? Well, here's an outlet for you. We will have weekly classes via Zoom. And if you can't make it, there will be a recording so you can go back and watch, but the lives are amazing. You will receive a new sacred sound recording each and every week that's based on the content that we're teaching. We will have weekly group meetups that will allow for some coaching, progress tracking, and accountability. And everybody loves the weekly meetups. It's really where the community happens. And for those that are on Facebook, we will have a private Facebook group where we can, again, have that like-minded community and have posts from everybody about how their journey is going. There's also going to be a membership site that you'll have access to, and on that site, you'll have access to a complete sound spa, which is one of the most amazing parts of this journey. So what are you going to do each day to get yourself closer to your best life? What is it? what's it worth to you? And where do you want to be 5 years from now? Are you going to continue to be on that hamster wheel? Or are you going to be on the beach somewhere with a view like that? Are you planning to live 90 of the same years or 90 different years? This was a statement that was so profound to me because I knew that my next life, my life after that diagnosis, my life after that pivot, needed to be different. And I was ready to take a stand. Are you?